Welcome to this series with Rotimi Rema. And the message today is specifically for CEOs of thriving companies. So, if you are the CEO of a thriving company, I think you need to listen to this. When I'm talking about a thriving institution or organization, I'm talking about CEOs who have been able to successfully run their organization for a couple of years. Let's talk about 5, 10 years. And one of the things that I observed, I've had the privilege of working with a couple of CEOs of thriving companies, okay, especially in Nigeria and West Africa. And one of the things I observed is that the CEOs of these organizations have done an amazing job. Over the years, you've been able to build systems and structures that has shown sustainability with respect to what you are doing. Yes, you've been able to do that. However, I observed something. You spend a lot of money bringing in the people with the right skill set, dynamic professionals, people who have also spent a couple of their years doing other things, okay, building competencies in their field of specializations, okay, but limited space is given to these guys to be able to exhibit their competencies and to be able to replicate the experience they've had over the years in terms of raising some level of quality success stories in other organizations that they could replicate in your organization. I understand the concerns that happens with the fact that you have been handling this organization for a couple of years and you sometimes feel that you understand it from end to end. But let me tell you, you see, when you bring in new expatriates or probably professionals, great guys, okay, it's something I would advise, okay, that you allow them to be able to exhibit their competencies, their capabilities in your organizations. You would allow them to be able to use their creativity and their experience, some of the proven and tested strategies they've used in other organizations to be able to create the kind of transformation that your organization deserves. Yes, this is very important. It's something I've observed. So when you see the boardroom, you as a CEO, you are the one who actually is the dominant figure in the boardroom, which ought not to be. It ought not to be. I strongly feel that one of the major responsibility of a CEO, aside communicating the vision effectively and consistently, is to be able to bring in some of the smartest and dynamic professionals into your organizations. And when you bring these guys in, what do? You keep communicating the vision, you keep giving the strategic directions to them. But in terms of the excellent execution of those strategy, that means in terms of the managing of the strategic business units of that organization, you need to allow them to take initiatives designed by these guys. You cannot keep imposing on them. And one of the things I've seen, okay, these guys, because they don't want to rub on your ego or want to do something that's going to make you get really terribly feel bad, they seem to align with your direction, especially when you want to be the one involved in the execution. However, they are aware that initiative that's coming from you is not going to work, but they won't tell you, okay? So it's your responsibility as a CEO to communicate the vision. In fact, to create and then communicate the vision. Yes, that's your responsibility. And you can never do that enough. You would continue to do that again and again and again. However, you must remember that these guys that you brought in, they are smart minds. You are sure that my recruitment is devoid of nepotism or partiality. I brought these guys in because of the competencies or the track record of their excellence. That was why I brought them in. I've seen their experience and I said, yes, you will be able to add significantly to the growth of my organization. Now they are with you. Let them be able to drive that transformational journey in your organization. And for how do you make this happen? You say, how, Rotimi, how do I get this happen? When it's time to talk, allow them roll out their ideas. Demand on them. What would they do to execute or achieve the vision that you've set as the CEO, okay, or as a leader, okay? So I strongly feel that as a CEO, my job is to bring out the best in the guys who are working with me. It does not mean that these guys know nothing. In fact, why would you even work with someone who knows nothing? Okay, I remember one of the profound statement of the founder of Alibaba. He said something: I bring in some of the smartest guys. I don't bring anybody who is not smarter than I am. So that means these guys taking it as a decision that whoever is coming in must have some level of competencies. They must have some level of competencies in their area of specialization. Okay, you are the CEO, you are the leader. It doesn't mean you have to do everything. But guess what? It means that you have to be able to optimize the capacity of these guys to deliver excellence to your organization. It is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to bring out the best in these guys. Because when you bring out the best in them, it brings out the best in your organization. So these are very critical things that we also must always continue to look at. And like I mentioned, allow them the freedom to execute their plans based on the strategic direction that you have given. Give them the necessary support, okay, in terms of resources. Give them necessary support in terms of encouragement, motivation, to be able to achieve that strategic direction that you have set as a leader for these guys, okay, or for the organization. It's important that you create that room for feedback, that room for engagement, that room where there is dynamic and thoughtful leadership between you and the key guys that you have employed and are working with you. I strongly feel that organizations in Nigeria, it is time to start moving from good to great. We have limited numbers of organizations who have been able to successfully move to great in Nigeria. And that will start happening when you start giving this freedom of information, the flow of information, the dynamism in leadership, in engagement between the CEO or the founder of the organization and those people who are there to help you achieve your direction or vision for that organization, where there's an alignment, there's a freedom of flow. And that means that you need to step down the ego and you need to allow these guys to be the best of whom they can be with the organization. I think this is something I needed to talk about, that is important for CEOs of organizations to put into cognizance anytime you're working. Thank you.